Zakat is one of the pillars of the Islamic faith. Zakat literally means alms. And there are different kind of alms, e.g. Zakat ul Fitr, alms of the fast breaking, or Zakat ul Mal, alms of the wealth. The implied zakat that makes up the pillar of Islam is Zakat ul Mal, which mandates Muslim to donate 2.5% of their personal wealth to those in need. Annually, Muslims believe that zakat purifies the spirit and brings them closer to God, and that not paying it makes your wealth dirty, haram. Learn how to calculate your personal zakat so you can fulfill your spiritual duties. So, we are going to watch about the how to calculate your personal zakat.
Method 1. Determining your wealth. First is identify your assets and calculate their value.
Start calculating your assets, or what you own. You exclude the assets you use for everyday life. For example, your primary residence, car, clothes and business equipment are not used in your zakat asset calculations. It's based on what's left after you take care of you and your family's living expenses. Example of zakat eligible assets include money, anything no matter the source and if it is in cash or on any bank, savings account. Properties, only zakat eligible if it is investment property, buying with the primary intent to sell it for profit. Property intended to live in or rent for others to live in is not zakat eligible. Precious metals such as gold or silver. Jewelry that you regularly wear and use is not zakat eligible. Stocks, business assets, as personal, money, property, current goods in stock, etc. If you only own a share of the business, 50%, you only pay zakat for 50% of the total value. Please note, this is only an example. If you have more than a bit of cash, or in any other way are unsure what applies to you, ask your local mosque or find more information from an Islamic website you trust.
Step 2. Identify your liabilities.
Debt from credit cards, college or other loans subtracts from your personal net worth. These outstanding debts are deducted from your total zakat eligible assets. If you obtained a personal loan of any type, car, home, cash, then look at how much you pay per month to your creditors, not the entire outstanding debt. Add up how much you owe each month to your creditors. Multiple this amount by 12 to calculate your annual liability amount. Please note, this is also an example. There may be varying opinions among scholars on what you may and may not deduct, depending on what Islamic branch you follow, Sunni, Shia, and what school of jurisprudence you belong to, Hanafi, Maliki, Jafari etc.
Finally, determine your zakat net worth.
Subtract your liabilities from your zakat eligible assets. For example, your assets for the year total $6,000 and your liabilities total $2,000. Your zakat net worth or zakat pool of money is $4,000, $6,000 minus $2,000 equals $4,000.
Method 2. Determining the Nisab value.
First is check current market rates for gold and silver. Make sure to have an updated rate as gold and silver prices fluctuate. Most exchange rate websites also keep track of gold and silver with currency codes XAU and XAG, respectively. 1 gold ounce, XAG is 1 ounce of gold, silver. Step 2. Calculate the Nisab cash values based on gold and silver. You can calculate both the gold-based and the silver-based Nisab value to compare them. The Nisab value can either be calculated based on gold, which is the value of 87.48 grams, 3 ounces, of gold, or it can be calculated based on silver, which is the value of 612.36 grams, 21 ounces, of silver. Step 3. Choose and settle for one method of calculating the Nisab, either gold or silver. Using the gold method gives you more margin before your wealth becomes zakat eligible, and is a legitimate choice. But using the silver method you use the safer method, to be sure your wealth stays pure, halal, and that the needy receives something, even if small.
Finally, determine your zakat date.
If this is the first time you pay your zakat, you need to determine your zakat date. Your zakat date is ideally the day you reached the nisab. However, if you aren't sure on exactly what date, You can approximate this and simply settle for an approximation. If you don't even know when approximately you reached Nisab and this is too complex, impossible to determine, simply adopt the date Hijri date of today. You can see and map Islamic, Hijri dates to Christian, Gregorian dates on most phones, or in most prayer apps, but also on websites such as Islamic Finder Hijri and Gregorian calendar date conversions. Keep track of the date so you remember when it's due the next lunar year. You are due your zakat directly, but have one lunar year to pay your zakat. And you can do it in installments, just make sure that it is all paid before a whole lunar year since your zakat date has passed. Many people choose the timing so that they pay zakat during holy month of Ramadan. Since Muslims believe a good deed during the holy month has more weight on the scale of good deeds.
Method 3. Calculating your zakat.
First is compare the nisab with your zakat net worth or pool. If your zakat net worth is more than the nisab, but a complete a lunar year, has not passed since you reached nisab for the first time, and determined a zakat date. If your zakat net worth is more than the nisab, and a lunar year, has passed since you first reached nisab. If your zakat net worth is less than the nisab, and your zakat date is null and void. This means you now need to keep track of your wealth more regular than each year, to determine a new zakat date. This also means, next time you reach your nisab, you determine your new zakat date, but don't owe zakat until a haul has passed, and you still have a net worth above the nisab.
Step 2. Calculate the zakat.
Zakat is 5% of your zakat pool. To calculate what 5% is of a sum, multiply your sum with 0.025, or divide your sum by 100 and multiply by 2.5. If your zakat pool is $4,000, then your zakat is $100, 4,000 0.025 equals 100, 4,000 divided by 100 equals 40, asterisk 2.5 equals 100.
Finally, pay your zakat to a zakat-conscious charity.
This is important because Zakatul Mal has strict framework of who is eligible to receive zakat. Donating your zakat to and WWF or Wikipedia or any other organization that may very well need it, but falls outside this framework would not count as zakat. You may give zakat to your relatives if they themselves don't pay zakat, because they do not own wealth, but not to your parents, children nor siblings, those you are obliged to support by your own. Non-zakat means you have a whole lunar year to pay your zakat, and you can pay them in installments if you want.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.